The unexpected help-it was late evening in the crowded city of Nova Terra, the sky glowing with strange purple and blue lights, the kind that made the air feel electric. The streets were busy with humans and aliens walking side by side, but in the middle of it all lived Mark, a lonely man with a small apartment on the top floor of an old building. His place was messy, dishes piled high, clothes everywhere, the smell of old food lingering in the air. He sighed as he dropped his bag. On the floor, today had been another long day at work. He was tired, hungry, and too exhausted to clean anything. As he looked out the window, he noticed a small figure sitting near the street corner. She was different, an alien, but not like the others he saw every day. She was small, barely taller than a child. Her skin had a faint silver glow and her eyes were bright like tiny stars. She looked thin and tired, wrapped in torn clothes, shivering in the cold wind. She held a small cup in her hand, asking for help from anyone who passed. Mark felt a strange tug in his chest. Something about her made him pause. He had never given money to strangers, but today, something was different. He grabbed some credits from his pocket and stepped outside, his boots clicking on the metal streets. "Here," he said, placing the money in her cup. The alien girl looked up at him, her glowing eyes meeting his. For a moment, Mark felt nervous. He had never been this close to an alien, but her expression was not fear. It was relief. She nodded slightly, almost like a bow, then quietly accepted the credits. "Can you help me?" Mark asked, almost unsure why he was saying it. "I need my place cleaned just for tonight," he added quickly, not sure if she understood. "Him?" The alien girl tilted her head, a faint light running through her hair, then slowly nodded. Mark felt a mix of surprise and curiosity. He did not know why, but he wanted her help. He led her to his apartment. The lift groaning as it climbed, he noticed she moved with grace, almost like she floated, her steps silent but confident. Inside, his place looked worse than he remembered, dishes stacked like towers, clothes on the floor, dust covering every surface. "Can you clean this?" he asked, his voice low, almost embarrassed. She simply nodded again, eyes glowing faintly as if she understood perfectly. He left her to start cleaning. Sitting on the couch, he watched her work. Amazed, she moved quickly, faster than a human. Picking up dishes, wiping tables, even fixing a broken lamp with strange gestures. Mark's jaw dropped. It was like watching a magic show. Every movement precise, perfect. She even made the floor shine as if it had been polished by machines. Mark could not take his eyes off her, and then he noticed something else. Tiny sparks of light flickered around her hands, but when he blinked, they disappeared. It was as if she was not just cleaning, but doing something else, something he could not understand. Hours passed. The city outside quieted down, only the soft hum of flying vehicles filling the air. Mark yawned, feeling a strange mix of fatigue and fascination. He had never seen anyone work like this. And she had not complained once. She moved with focus, as if the apartment mattered more to her than herself. He wondered why a homeless alien would care about a stranger's messy home. But he did not ask. He could not. Something about the silence between them was heavy, almost electric, then. Just as he was about to get up, he heard it, a soft sound, almost like a whisper coming from the corner of the room. He turned, and she was looking at him, eyes glowing brighter than before, her head tilted, and for a moment, Mark felt an odd chill run down his spine. It was not fear, but curiosity, and something else, a warning, like she knew something he did not. He swallowed hard, trying to hide his nerves. He smiled awkwardly. "Thank you for helping," he said. But she did not respond, only nodded once, then returned to her work, cleaning with the same precision. Night fell fully, the city lights casting long shadows into the apartment. Mark tried to relax, sitting back on the couch. but he could not shake the feeling that something unusual was happening. She was not just cleaning, he realized. She was observing, watching, sensing. It was in the way she moved, the way her eyes followed him, always just a little too aware. He shook his head, trying to dismiss the feeling. Maybe he was imagining things after all. She was just a girl, homeless, trying to survive. But then, as he got up to grab a drink, he noticed the window, faint light flickering outside, not from the city, but from above. A soft blue glow moving slowly, almost like a ship. He froze, staring. The glow seemed to pulse, and for a moment, he thought he saw a figure inside, watching, scanning. Then it disappeared, leaving only the normal city lights. Mark's heart raced. He sat back down, trying to act normal, but he could not. The alien girl paused, her hands still, looking at the window, too, her glowing eyes reflecting the strange light. She tilted her head, a subtle motion that felt like a question. Mark shook his head, saying nothing. He did not understand her, and she did not speak, but the feeling in the room changed, heavy, tense, full of quiet electricity. He tried to calm himself, thinking it was nothing, just city lights, just shadows. But deep inside, he felt it, a warning he could not name. And he knew, tonight was not going to be like any other night. Something was coming, something big. And she, the homeless alien he had just hired to clean his house, knew it. And he had no idea why as he sat there, watching her move with silent grace. The hum of the city outside blending with the soft swish of her hands, Mark felt the first real stirrings. Of fear mixed with curiosity, he did not know what this night would bring, but one thing was certain. It would change his life forever, and he could not look away. The mysterious night. The apartment was silent. Only the soft hum of the city outside filled the air. Mark tried to sleep, but his mind was restless. He could not stop thinking about the alien girl, her glowing eyes, the way she moved, and the strange lights outside the window. Something about tonight felt wrong, heavier than usual, like the air itself was waiting for something. He rolled over in bed, trying to ignore the unease, and then he heard it. A soft sound, almost like a whisper coming from the living room. It was too light for footsteps, too deliberate for wind. He froze, heart pounding. The sound grew louder, a faint swish of movement, and then he saw her, the alien girl, standing in the doorway of his bedroom, eyes brighter than before, almost blinding in the dark. "What are you doing?" he whispered, though he knew she could not speak his language. She tilted her head, looking at him as if weighing a choice, her glow pulsing softly. Then she stepped forward, silently, effortlessly, each movement fluid, almost like she floated. Above the floor, Mark wanted to move, but his body refused, rooted by fear and fascination. Then something strange happened. The objects in the room began to tremble, a faint blue light radiating from her hands. Books lifted slightly off the shelves. Papers fluttered like caught in an invisible wind. Mark's eyes widened. He realized she was not just an ordinary alien. She was controlling something. Something powerful, but calm, precise, as if she had done this many times before. Mark swallowed hard. "What are you?" he whispered again. But she made no sound, only reached out to touch a small device on the table, a strange gadget he had never seen. It hummed to life, projecting a holographic map of stars and ships, moving fast, complex patterns. He could not understand, yet her fingers danced across the controls, effortlessly, the device responding as if it had been made for her alone. The glow outside the window returned, stronger this time, shifting, circling, a ship, not like any he had seen before, sleek, angular, shimmering with a light that seemed alive. The alien girl's eyes followed it, her pupils narrowing, her body tensing slightly, and then Mark realized she was expecting something, waiting, and it was coming for her, not for him. He wanted to speak, to ask questions, but before he could, the ship's lights focused on the building, scanning, searching. And the alien girl reacted instantly, stepping between Mark and the window, hands glowing brighter, her presence suddenly imposing, almost otherworldly, a protective aura surrounding them. Mark felt a strange warmth, like she was shielding him, even though he did not understand why then. Without warning, the ship fired a small pulse of light, striking the building. It shook, debris falling. But she moved faster than he could see, intercepting it, a soft hum filling the room, and suddenly the pulse fizzled out harmlessly, the device in her hand blinking rapidly, scanning, analyzing. She looked at Mark, her glow dimming slightly as if trying to calm him, her silent gaze telling him, "Trust me." Mark's breath was shallow, heart racing. He had no idea what was happening, yet he felt an instinct, deep inside, that she was not here to harm. Him, she was here to protect, to survive, to complete something important, something far beyond his understanding, and yet, despite the fear, he did not feel alone. He felt chosen somehow, part of something bigger. The city outside was quiet again, the lights fading back to normal, the strange ship now gone, leaving only a faint shimmer in the night sky. The alien girl stepped closer, placing a small hand on Mark's arm, a simple gesture yet charged with meaning, a silent promise, a warning, and a question he could not answer. "Who are you really?" he whispered, his voice trembling. But she only tilted her head, glowing faintly, then turned back toward the living room, motioning him to follow, curiosity and fear battling inside him. He got up, stepping carefully, his eyes scanning the apartment, noticing small things he had never seen before. Strange markings on the walls, glowing faintly, almost like a map, objects subtly rearranged, as if the room itself was alive. Then, as he approached, she pressed a button on the device, and the room shifted, holographic symbols floating in midair, charts of stars, alien languages, glowing lines connecting unknown planets. And Mark realized this was not just cleaning, not just survival. This was a mission, a secret. And he had stumbled right into it, his life now entwined with hers in ways he could not imagine. The night stretched on, full of whispers, glowing lights, and silent movements. Every second thick with tension, Mark could feel the weight of the unknown pressing on him. Yet he could not turn away, could not escape. Because he knew somehow tonight would change everything. The homeless alien he had hired to clean his house was far more than she appeared, and the moment had come when nothing would ever be the same again. The arrival of shadows, the night was heavy, thick with silence, but Mark could feel it, the air vibrating with energy. Something unseen was approaching. The alien girl, whose name he still did not know, stood near the window, her eyes glowing like twin moons in the dark room. She was tense, every muscle coiled, as if waiting for a storm to hit. Mark watched her, heart pounding. The room still smelled, faintly, of the cleaning she had done. Yet now it carried a strange metallic scent, sharp and cold, like electricity before a thunderstorm. He wanted to ask questions, but words stuck in his throat. He could feel the danger pressing down on them both, heavier with every passing second. Then it came, a shadow in the sky, moving faster than any ship Mark had ever seen. Sleek, black, almost liquid in shape, it circled the building, scanning, pulsing with red light. And Mark realized this was no ordinary attack. It was a hunt, precise, targeted, and relentless, a predator from the stars seeking its prey. The alien girl moved instantly, faster than Mark could follow, her hands raised, glowing, sending a wave of energy toward the window. The shadow recoiled, twisting in midair as if it had been burned, then lunged again and again, her energy forming a protective barrier, shimmering like a force field, deflecting every attack effortlessly. Yet her movements were precise, controlled, not reckless. Mark could sense intelligence in every gesture. He stumbled back, terrified but unable to look away. The air around them crackled, the apartment vibrating with power, books shaking, glasses rattling, and through it all, the alien girl stood firm, almost calm, her eyes glowing brighter, pulsing with rhythm, like a heartbeat of light in the darkness. Mark could see now. She was not just strong, she was extraordinary, beyond anything. Human, then. The shadow struck harder, hitting the building directly. A shockwave rocking the walls, furniture flying, glass shattering. But she reacted instantly, absorbing the force into her barrier, energy dispersing with a soft hum, the room now glowing. With blue and white lights, Mark could feel the warmth of it, like standing near a star. And he realized she had saved him again, without hesitation. "Why? Why are they after you?" Mark whispered, fear making his voice tremble, but she did not answer, only tilted her head, eyes scanning, glowing. Then she touched the device on the table again, holographic lines snapping into place, showing locations, paths, and strange symbols he could not understand. Yet her movements were urgent, calculating, each gesture precise, like a chess master planning 10 moves ahead. Outside, more shadows appeared, smaller ones this time, faster, moving like swarms, their red eyes cutting through the darkness. The alien girl's glow intensified, hands weaving through the air, energy forming shapes he had never seen, shields, walls, traps, all shimmering, all alive, defending, protecting, like the apartment itself had become a fortress. Mark realized he had no control, could do nothing, yet he could not leave, could not run, because everything happening was now his reality, and he had to trust her, though he did not know why, though he had never known an alien like this before, though he had no idea what was coming next. Then one of the smaller shadows broke through, a window, glass exploding, a sharp scream cutting through the night. But she moved, faster than thought, catching it in midair, crushing it silently, effortlessly. Yet there was no arrogance in her movements, only focus, determination, and a hint of sorrow, as if she had fought this battle before, too many times to count. Mark's chest tightened, fear and awe mixing. He had never seen such power, never imagined such speed, strength, intelligence combined in a single being. And yet, he could feel something else. Her humanity, or at least a strange connection, a silent bond forming between them, unspoken but undeniable, as if tonight had chosen him as her witness, her companion. Then the largest shadow arrived, the real threat, massive, black, wings stretching wide, eyes glowing like molten lava, descending slowly, deliberately, scanning, calculating, hunting. And Mark realized this was not just a fight, it was a test, a challenge, and the alien girl was ready. She stepped forward, pulsing with light, voice still silent, energy forming a blade of pure light in her hands, cutting through the air with precision. She lunged at the shadow, striking with a force that sent ripples across the room. Mark's ears ringing, his body trembling, but he could not look away, could not blink. The scene burned into his mind. The shadow countered, a wave of dark energy smashing toward her. But she absorbed it, redirected it, using it as a weapon, turning danger into defense, attack into shield. Every move fluid, elegant, deadly, impossible. And Mark realized, tonight was not just survival. Tonight was the moment humanity would witness the impossible. The moment the homeless alien he had trusted to clean his house became a warrior of the stars. And he was now part of her story. Room fell silent for a heartbeat, the shadows retreating, the air heavy with power, the alien girl breathing softly, glowing faintly. Then she turned to Mark, eyes full of questions, unspoken words, and a silent warning. This was only the beginning. Mark's heart raced, mind spinning, yet deep inside, a strange certainty grew. Tonight had changed everything, his life, the city, even the universe, because the girl in his apartment was no ordinary being. And the shadows she fought were only the first challenge in a story that was far bigger, far darker, far more powerful than he could ever imagine. Secrets of the Hunter. The apartment was quiet now, but the silence was heavy, almost alive. Mark could feel it pressing down like the calm before a storm. The alien girl stood in the center of the room, her glow dimming, hands trembling slightly, as if the battle outside had taken more than just energy. It had shaken her very core. Mark approached cautiously. Who are they? Why do they want you? His voice was low, but the alien girl did not answer, only turned toward the window, eyes narrowing, scanning the city below, her pupils flashing strange colors, marking something, someone, a signal only. She could see. A warning he could not understand. Suddenly the air shifted, a vibration, subtle at first, then growing stronger. Something massive moving outside. Something that did not belong to this world. The walls rattled, the lights flickered, and Mark realized the shadows were not just hunting her. They were following a plan, a pattern, something she knew but had not told him. Then she spoke softly, in a language he could not understand. Yet her words seemed to hum, vibrating through. The room and the device on the table responded, projecting a massive hologram, showing stars, planets, ships, and strange symbols connecting them all. Mark's eyes widened. He could see the network, the path, the game she had been running for years. They are hunters, she finally whispered in broken human words, her voice soft but filled with power. They track me. They want something inside me, something dangerous. If they take it, the universe changes. Mark's heart raced. Dangerous? What? What is it? She hesitated, then pressed her hand to her chest, glowing brighter, a faint pulse spreading across her body like a heartbeat of light. Power, ancient power, hidden inside me. I was chosen to protect it. But they will not stop. Before he could react, the building shook violently, a massive shadow crashing into the side, ripping through walls, glass exploding everywhere. Mark ducked instinctively, but she was already there, moving faster than thought. Raising her hands, light blasting outward, energy waves colliding with the shadow. Sparks and flames dancing across the room. Mark watched, breath shallow, his mind racing, every second filled with chaos. Yet she moved with precision, almost calm, her focus absolute, like a commander leading a battle she had fought before. He realized she was not just surviving, she was hunting them back, predicting every move, controlling every attack. And yet the strain was visible in her posture, in the tight line of her jaw, in the way her glow flickered. Then the door burst open and more shadows poured in, faster, stronger, each one unique, more dangerous than the last. And Mark knew, if she could not stop them, they would destroy everything, the city, the building, maybe even him. And he felt fear like never before. The alien girl's eyes flashed, her glow blinding, energy swirling around her like a storm contained in her body, and she spoke again, words sharp and commanding, though Mark could not understand them. Yet their meaning was clear. Fight. Defend. Survives. She moved faster than light, striking, blocking, absorbing attacks, redirecting energy. The apartment became a battlefield, furniture exploding, walls cracking, lights shattering. Yet she did not falter. She controlled everything, bending, chaos to her will, and Mark could only stare, awe and terror mixing, realizing he had never seen a being so powerful, so determined, so unstoppable. Then a shadow broke through the last barrier, a massive figure taller than the ceiling, eyes glowing red, wings stretching wide, and Mark realized this was not just a fight for survival, it was a test, a final challenge. And the alien girl braced herself, energy flaring, preparing for the strike. And in that moment, Mark knew. He could not run. He could not hide. He had to choose, to fight with her or be left behind. She turned toward him, eyes piercing, glowing with intensity, a silent command and a silent plea. And Mark understood, his fear melting into determination. He was part of this now. The homeless alien he had once hired to clean his house was no longer just a visitor. She was a warrior, a protector, and he had been chosen to stand by her side in the battle that would decide everything. The shadows moved closer, the air thick with energy, the room glowing with impossible light, and Mark took a deep breath, feeling the pulse of power, the weight of responsibility, and the strange connection growing between them. Because tonight, they were no longer two strangers. They were allies, fighting a war that no human had ever imagined, and as the largest shadow lunged at them, the alien girl's energy exploded outward, a shield, a weapon, a promise. And Mark knew this was the moment that would change everything, not just for them, but for the universe itself, because what she protected could not fall into their hands, and he would not let it. The choice of the universe. The room was shattered, walls cracked, glass everywhere. Yet the alien girl stood in the center, glowing brighter than ever, a storm of energy swirling around her, and Mark could feel it, the pulse of her power stronger than anything he had ever imagined, almost alive, almost breathing, almost divine. The shadows had regrouped, their red eyes burning, larger, faster, smarter, and at the front, the leader, immense, wings stretching beyond the ceiling, energy crackling around him like lightning, stepped forward, his presence filling the room with dread, marking the moment Mark realized this was not just a fight, this was a judgment, a reckoning. She holds it. The leader hissed in a voice like grinding metal, echoing in Mark's mind. The key! The universe will bow! The alien girl's glow flared, forming a blade of pure light in her hands, energy swirling around her like a storm contained in her body. And Mark felt something shift in him, fear twisting into courage, awe turning into determination. Because he knew. He could not run, he could not hide, he had to fight, beside her, for everything. Then it came, the attack, faster than thought. A wave of black energy crashing toward them, walls exploding, air splitting. Mark barely shielded himself, and the alien girl moved, twisting, blocking, absorbing, redirecting. Her movements precise, perfect, almost like a dance, each strike crushing a shadow, each motion commanding the battlefield, and Mark could see it. She was not just fighting to survive, she was fighting for the universe itself. He reached for something in himself, remembering her trust, her strength, her sacrifices. And he ran, not away, not hiding, but toward her, throwing himself into the chaos, using every instinct, every ounce of courage to shield her from the smallest shadows, catching falling debris, deflecting energy shards, and the alien girl noticed, a flash of surprise, then approval in her eyes. A connection forming stronger than before, unspoken but undeniable. The leader roared, a sound that shook the city, waves of energy splitting. The night, and the alien girl stepped forward, pulsing brighter, energy expanding outward. But Mark saw something. Inside her, a crystal, glowing, ancient, a power so immense it made the shadows falter, even the leader hesitate. This was the source, the secret she had been hiding. "Mark!" she shouted, voice clear now, filled with emotion. "You must choose!" He froze, heart pounding, mind racing. "Choose! What?" "The crystal can destroy them all, but it will change me. Maybe forever. If you help me, the universe will be safe, but we may never be the same." He looked at her, glowing, magnificent, human and alien all at once, and without hesitation he nodded. "I'm with you. Always." Together they moved, her energy flowing into his hands, his courage feeding her power, and the crystal pulsed, shooting waves of light, obliterating shadows, breaking the leader's energy, dissolving darkness into nothing, the room shaking, air crackling, light blinding. Yet Mark held on, felt it, felt the universe itself bending to their will. Then silence, sudden and complete. The air still, shadows gone, the city quiet, and the alien girl's glow dimmed, her body trembling, energy spent. Yet Mark held her hand, steadying her, heart racing, realizing they had won, survived, changed the course of the universe together. She looked at him, eyes soft now, human, vulnerable, and Mark smiled, relief flooding him. "We did it. We really did it." Her lips curved into a faint smile. "Because you trusted me. Because you chose to fight. You are extraordinary, human, stronger than you know." Mark felt it. A bond unbreakable, forged in battle. Trust, courage, and sacrifice, and for the first time, he understood. The homeless alien he had once hired to clean his house was not just extraordinary. She was a protector of worlds, a force of the universe, and he had been part of her story. As dawn broke, light spilling into the shattered room, they stood together, survivors, warriors, allies, and Mark realized this was only the beginning, because the universe was vast, full of shadows, full of secrets, but together they could face anything, fight anything, and protect everything, a human and an alien, standing side by side, unstoppable. And as they stepped out of the ruins, the city waking, unaware of the battle fought above, Mark knew one truth. His life had changed forever, not just by chance, but by choice, courage, and the bond formed with the alien girl. Because tonight, they had rewritten destiny, and humanity had witnessed the impossible.